Interactive content refers to content where you can play an active role, like a mobile game. A new generation of interactives has entered the market today, which I intend to talk about more in this video. If you are a consumer of the TikTok platform today, it has been a few months since gesture-based content interactives have appeared on this platform. These are interactions that take place with the audience's finger or hand. The creator starts playing a specific rhythm, and if you, for example, move your finger with the rhythm, you see magic happen. It's as if our finger is dancing with the content, as if it is part of the content. And this is very interesting, very new, and there is potential to create many posts using it. Let's actually try it. I will show you a short video. You promise to do whatever is done in it, whatever is repeated. You can connect with the rhythm for at least 5 seconds.
Tap it.
When this style of interactives went viral on TikTok, it migrated to Instagram too, and gradually showed up in YouTube Shorts as well. You can easily make shorts with millions of views with it, because this sense of being interactive usually keeps the audience with the work until the end. The audience goes along with it, meaning they see and repeat. Let's see this example. An exhibition was held in Tokyo, an exhibition named Design X Anew. Such a video was playing in this exhibition. This counts as a sort of fitness interactive. This time the video is horizontal, and the idea is for people to exercise, to create some movement. I remember newspapers wrote at that time that a Japanese genius is behind this style. And in this exhibition, this video was constantly playing, and people gradually joined this group activity and unconsciously, consciously imitated the video. And in a way, this is lazy fitness. After this video went viral, YouTube creators gradually started ideating to imitate this work. I can say the story started just a few weeks ago. A channel like this is an anonymous Latin creator who created this media 3 weeks ago. It had very low views until interactive videos were discovered. Exactly from the time he made the new generation interactive videos, everything exploded. Just look at the views and compare them with the views of his previous videos to see what happened. The Lazy Fitness channel used to post shorts from scenes of the game Plants vs. Zombies. But interactive warm-ups, which is the new niche for YouTubers, truly got results in force and with only 2 videos. See the views for yourself. This same creator, exactly when he saw there was an opportunity and a lot of money flowing, launched his second channel too. He named it Lazy Fitness 2. The first video published 2 days ago has about 500,000 views, and the second video isn't doing bad at all. Just these 2 videos monetize the channel. Can you believe it? You are facing a tsunami of demand. Again, my intention is to show you more examples now, but let's see this tsunami of demand live. This is the Google Trends chart, and this is the state of demand. Look, it's skyrocketing. Even if you monitor the demand in the field, you will see it. Today, you might see short videos where people are exercising with these very videos at home, dancing, laughing. This is a cute workout, really a lazy people's workout. It's very interesting. This very short video you are currently watching, where 2 couples are using interactives and exercising and dancing and feeling good, the video that is playing on the TV belongs to this Russian channel, which I can say is the main leader of this market. This creator popularized these videos. Others are working by imitating his videos. And he himself, as I told you, got the idea from the Tokyo exhibition where these videos were played and added some spice of his own creativity. His work is very interesting. The channel you see also started its work 11 days ago in this strange sports niche, and its condition isn't bad at all either. It is truly a strange niche.
This channel is another example that has grown with just 2 videos in only 5 days.
In fact, this is the dream of any newcomer, to reach such views. Just his first video, because unlike competitors, its length isn't 1 minute, 2 minutes, it is 5 minutes. Just a single one can monetize a channel. Because if you make, for example, an 8-minute video with 150,000 views, you are almost monetized. Meaning watch time is filled and subscribers, well, you see, are full, easily.
I can show you many examples of this kind. For example, an amateur creator who named the media Dr. Science comes and gives data about health in Latin. Look at the views. They weren't good at all. The content didn't have the necessary quality, didn't have an audience, but with 2 interactive videos, he reached such views. I told you he is an amateur creator because even though he saw the market here, he went back to his own style of video, which is that health style and things like that. Surely this last video of his won't go viral either because the audience wants something else. Another example, DJ Stella. Before seeing and discovering the niche of interactives, she didn't have a good situation. Look, some of her views are terrible, but just this one video, an interactive warm-up video, got her results. It's interesting. Okay guys, let's go to making such videos. I think it's better to start the story with choosing music because the whole work is going to be mounted on a specific rhythm, meaning rhythm plays an important role in this work. If you don't have a YouTube channel at this stage, create a YouTube channel because we want to enter YouTube Studio. Enter your studio with this option, and in the studio, from the left menu, select the music library. There is a lot of music here that is copyright free and free. YouTube allows creators to use them. It is the best place to avoid getting caught in copyright laws. In the search section here, for example, I type drum track. I want a song whose bass is drum. It suggests a series of tracks based on this need of mine. I can listen to see which one is good, which is bad, finally choose the suitable track. For example, this track. With this option, I can also download the track. Now in the next step, let's see what the tempo is. I type 2-beat BPM Finder in Google. This is a tool that gives me the tempo. Now you will realize how important it is and how comfortably it does the job. We give the music file to it, and this online tool says with a short check that this music must be synchronized on metronome 105. Okay, we test it. I don't want to go for strange tools anymore. Right here in YouTube, I type BPM 105. Okay, in the world of music, this means I want to scale for 105 beats per minute. YouTube itself shows me a metronome video, which is exactly that 105 beats per minute. They call this a metronome. Its job is to exactly specify these beats in music so you don't get off rhythm. Is such a beat mounted on our music? Yes. Well, we test it. Now we realize every beat is in sync with the work. If the metronome speed goes a bit higher or comes lower, you won't have this synchronization. Well, this was the most important part of the story. Now it's time to make the videos. I can ask AI, for example, Google's Nano Banana tool with a basic prompt to create such an image for me. A hand, for example, in a punch or striking pose. When we get the hand, we have to come and remove its background. Now with any tool, it's possible. With AI, it's possible. On the phone, it's not complex at all. Look it up yourselves. When the background is removed, the hand is extracted. I can again add a background as a second layer to the story. Now we have 2 layers, a background layer, a hand layer.
And in CapCut or any other video editing tool, now CapCut, since it can be installed on mobile too, that's why I brought it as an example. In any tool, you can move the hand layer with keyframing, meaning all video editing tools have this key. For example, I place a key in this part of the image and place the next key here. Now I say within 2 seconds, go from key 1 towards key 2, just that easily. So if you play with the keys a little and place the hand in the right place, you see that the hitting state is evoked. You might say, can't this work be done with AI? Yes, it is possible, but a job this easy that can be executed with 4 keys, why entrust it to AI? Take up our own time. It messes up 10 times, maybe it's not on rhythm and other issues. Now it must be mounted exactly on our metronome. We might not have observed the rhythm for ourselves. This is very important. After punching where, now I can also bring a cartoon font next to it, write the name of the move, even say the move with voice, for example, AI voice. After this, we go to other objects that are going to be added to the video, like a soda can. Now this is an example. I can tell the Nano Banana AI that I want a cartoon soda can. It gives me this photo. It's not complex. And again, I tell it, hey, crumple this very can now. Again, it gives me another photo. How interesting. Now we have 2 frames where one is an intact can and one is a crumpled can that our fist wants to crumple in the video. Again, we have the adjustment on rhythm. It must come exactly on the metronome. And perhaps we want to add more movements with more keys so the work becomes more interesting. And definitely adding sound effects to make the work professional.
Where do we get the effect? I will definitely explain to you, but the story can continue in this very way. Anything else that is in your mind? For example, a water bottle that gets punched, gets crumpled again. This can also be added to the video. Again, AI gives you 2 images. The images must be synchronized on the metronome. Some more cuts, sound effect again, another image. A Play-Doh that is going to get squashed by our punch. 2 photos, sound effect, movement, and adjustment on rhythm. Finally, if we mount our music on this work, since everything is synchronized, magic happens. See?
1, 2, 3. Time to exercise, my cute little lazies. Tap it.
Well, as I said, I can make short videos with this method. They are interesting shorts that technically keep the audience engaged until the end of the video. But let's go to the long world, which has become very common and is a new niche. A person who wants to work on long videos, in my opinion, it is better if the videos are not cartoonish and fantasy anymore. Why? Because the audience's taste with the concept that the Japanese artist popularized is in another direction. They wanted something else. Now, how are videos with this concept made? The technique can be this very technique I explained to you, even simpler. Most importantly, you should know that creators today are copying movement scenes from each other. No one has shown creativity yet. The number of those who are making new scenes or new moves is very low. So you can take patterns from these very videos at the start of work and use them. You can copy this from others for now. No problem arises in terms of copyright. This is fair use. It's not bad to know this too, that in later works or more professional works, you can film yourself, for example, your body or your hand movements. I can easily, for example, in After Effects, draw a series of lines with a white brush on any work. I can follow that hand state, and then if the original film is deleted, only my white lines are displayed. So it's possible in After Effects. I can make this in Premiere. It's no trouble for me at all. I make this real video the reference, meaning you give a video, you receive another video where you have emphasized that the background be black and the white lines around that object, for example around the hand, be visible. It's not complex.
After showing these cartoons, now real videos related to the topic are supposed to be shown. Many today make these videos with AI. It's no trouble. Many get ideas from others' videos and film that concept themselves again. This works too. Many pick up footage from the internet and do something so that rhythm law is executed correctly. In fact, the work is mounted on the metronome. Making these is truly easier compared to cartoon videos. In the end, let's go to sound effects, which is the main problem. I myself use Zapsplat in many cases to download sound effects. Create an account here. In its free version, it gives you sound effects limited daily. It's enough to write what you want in its search section and now receive that sound. It doesn't have copyright either because it gives you a license. But I said we have limitations in the free version. I explained in the past too. In many cases, I produce the sound effects myself, essentially. When I want, for example, the sound of hitting the table 4 times with a specific metronome, well, why, for example, go looking for a sound effect when I can bang on the table myself? Or the sound of, for example, hitting a plastic container. Why should I go for downloading a sound effect? Search for the sound effect in Zapsplat. Sometimes it becomes very time-consuming when one can hit a bottle and use that sound, no? What is the necessity, but sometimes, for example, the sound of hitting dough, which is a special sound effect, I might go to Zapsplat here. Okay, I do the work this way. Opportunities like interactive warm-ups are for those who are ready. These people no longer need me to explain to them about how to make these works. They just want marketing data, which is exactly my job. They just need market identification, so for example, a new and untapped market is introduced to them. If a person sees the making of these videos once, they easily realize how the creator made this work. You must reach exactly the stage to be able to build a market. And if we want to proceed just like that clumsily, noob, want to do robotic work, no. And an amateur can't even see that he didn't have a correct execution. He thinks he is like the rest, but doesn't grow. Know this niche more. In my opinion, investigate more. It's an interesting niche. A wave of demand is behind it. It's cute, and today it is taking the first steps at least on the YouTube platform. Monitor it. Maybe it's an opportunity for you.
In the end, many say that this trend is fleeting. Its life ends quickly. Truly, this is not my opinion, dears. This trend is just born, and until just these past few weeks, its condition was such that it got views even with making 1-minute videos. Today, maybe you have to make more because the audience wants to exercise with it for example, 5 minutes. If you want to think this way, I promise you that in the future you are facing a serious niche. Because when we attach this to the category of sports, well, why would it want to go out of style just that easily? Actually, it's a cool sport, really a lazy people sport. Some might want to exercise with your videos every day, work out, warm up their bodies for 5 minutes. And if these interactive videos are placed at their disposal, if you're a regular, moment, hour, especially if every day 5 minutes of such video is played on your channel, why not? It can gradually capture the market and find a series of fans. The videos themselves have a nature that really enchants the audience. They have the necessary power. Think about it, learn, and try. Finally, one of these efforts will reach the desired result for you. I promise you. Good luck.
Hello. In this episode, we will get acquainted with a great idea for YouTube, the idea of storytelling for sleep. There's a reference channel called Sleepless Historian. The primary activity of this channel is telling stories, historical tales, and calm, long narratives that help people fall asleep more easily. This is exactly their main focus, not for children, but for adults. At first glance, this idea might seem a bit strange, but the reality behind this business tells a different story. It's interesting to know that according to World Health Organization statistics, nearly 1/3 of the world's population constantly struggles with sleep problems. The even more interesting point is that according to a Google report, searches for keywords like relaxing story for sleep or calming stories for sleep peak between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. in every country. This indicates a real need for people to find a solution to this problem. Pay attention to this. Channels like Sleepless Historian are actually monetizing this massive market by producing content that creates a sleep-inducing experience. The potential of this market is truly amazing. Overall, these digital products act as a supplementary solution that diverts the mind from stressful thoughts and puts the body into a state of rest. It's even interesting to know that this method is recommended by some psychotherapists as well. The exciting part is that this content is created entirely from start to finish by artificial intelligence. And in the next part of this tutorial, I intend to talk exactly about the method of creating such videos. Since Sleepless Historian launched 2 months ago, guys, many channels have started copying this idea. For instance, the History Sleepy channel, which is a carbon copy of the original, started just a month ago and has already seen impressive growth. Then there's the Boring History channel. They also started within the past month and have experienced solid growth. This goes to show that if anyone starts creating this type of content today, they can still capture the market and grow. The niche is still wide open. But things aren't always that simple. To be honest, it's not always smooth sailing. It's only when you roll up your sleeves and actually enter the market that you get a real sense of how it works. Take this channel, for example. They've put in a lot of effort and even managed to get monetized, yet they haven't been able to capture the market like the other 3. The reason might be that the creator didn't pay attention to the fundamentals of this content style, or maybe they just don't know them at all. Let's dive into this a bit. If this product is meant to work like a supplement, you have to pay attention to many tiny details that are absolutely crucial.
For instance, your story should have the minimum amount of mental stimulation. The story shouldn't feature a hero whose life is full of ups and downs or breathtaking and exciting battles. Why shouldn't the story be like this? Because we don't want to shock the listener's mind. The person wants to sleep. Therefore, you should not raise their excitement level at all. In fact, that's exactly why these videos are generally known as boring history. Choosing this keyword is completely intentional. If you were to write exciting stories, it wouldn't be useful for sleeping anymore. Selecting an AI voice actor to narrate the story in this project is extremely crucial. The speech must be delivered in a monotonous tone and at a low speed. The tone of voice must be chosen so soft and subtle that it can trigger the secretion of melatonin, which is known as the sleep hormone. In a way, these videos are also considered ASMR. And pay attention here. It's better for the video images, which are also created by AI, to be static. There's no need to turn them into animation or film. It's also better to lower the brightness of the visuals so the brain stays away from the blue light of the phone and visual movements. We don't want to keep the brain awake or stimulated. These are, in fact, the most important points that, if not followed, will cause the product to lose its quality and won't be useful for the audience.
But how should we actually make these videos? It's clear that for script writing, we use the Claude AI. But why Claude? Because this tool has great writing power and generates longer texts. For voice recording, you can use TTS tools, or text-to-speech, tools that can even be installed on a personal computer. Or, for example, a tool like Open.fm that I've talked about before, an incredible tool that can even perform the tone and inflection for you. Regarding the images, all the paintings are made with AI. For instance, with tools like Leonardo or Tensor.art, and even Google's tools, you can easily generate these images. In fact, any tool that can convert text to image is suitable for this. Finally, we reach the editing stage. If you follow a reference channel like Sleepless Historian, you'll notice that the creator announces at the beginning of the videos that they edited everything with CapCut. This means the entire content was prepared using just a mobile phone. The method is simple. We arrange the images in CapCut, add the audio, and finally, with effects like smoke and mist, we give the video a mythical feel. Now I want to talk about the most important trick these media channels use. If you look closely, you'll notice that all these stories are over 2 hours long. But why doesn't the story end in 1 hour or 50 minutes? Why does it absolutely have to be over 2 hours? The reason is clear. The YouTube algorithm has a greater tendency to show long videos. Google knows that the audience on this platform is mostly looking to watch long and deep videos. Research firm reports and existing statistics also confirm this fact quite well. What's even more interesting is that in its algorithmic system, YouTube prioritizes total watch time, or simply watch time, more than the number of views. The more a video is watched, the more YouTube gives it impressions and introduces it to more people. In the storytelling for sleep idea, since the audience might fall asleep while listening to the story, the video continues to play. And for YouTube, it makes absolutely no difference whether the viewer is asleep or awake. So this is a clever trick to boost watch time. The more the watch time increases, the more YouTube thinks the video has important content and suggests it to others more frequently.
Another interesting point, the YouTube TV platform has a higher tendency to recommend long-form videos to viewers compared to the mobile version. In fact, if you watch YouTube on a smart TV, you are actually using YouTube TV. The more important point is that studies have shown long-form videos usually create deeper engagement. For example, someone suffering from insomnia might use storytelling channels as a solution for falling asleep. After a few weeks, that person's brain easily becomes conditioned, meaning upon hearing that specific narrator's voice, the body subconsciously enters a state of relaxation. This is truly interesting. For this reason, the narrator's voice should never be changed. Make sure to keep this point in mind. This is exactly similar to children's bedtime routines, which is now happening for adults as well. These are the very secrets that keep these types of businesses dynamic. I'd really like us to work on this idea. Truly, a new market can be created, provided we add more creativity to our work than before. Of course, these ideas have existed in the past and aren't very new. The difference is that in the past, a narrator had to tell stories continuously for 2 to 4 hours. The video you're seeing right now belongs to the Get Sleepy channel, which started its work with this same traditional method 4 years ago and has continued until today. This used to be a very laborious task because you had to have a knowledge of the English language, and there was always the chance of making mistakes or slips of the tongue during the performance that would require editing. But today, AI handles this entire laborious process from start to finish, and this is truly extraordinary. An example is a successful project that managed to attract more than 500,000 subscribers in just 2 months. You could really say this guy has won the game.
A day in the life of a traveling herbalist in the floating gardens of ancient Aztec Tenochtitlan. A calming bedtime story in 5 chapters. Chapter 1. The gentle dawn in your reed sanctuary. You wake slowly, very slowly, to the soft rustle of reeds around your humble dwelling. The walls of your home are woven from tule rushes, each strand dried golden by countless days of gentle sun. The morning light filters through the gaps.
Part 1. Writing the script or scenario. I mentioned earlier that the best tool for writing scripts for such long stories at the moment is Claude. I write a prompt or instruction for it and say, I want you to write a relaxing bedtime story in 5 chapters. Each chapter should be around 18,000 words and be formatted in a way that it can be used directly in text-to-speech tools or TTS. Now let's move on to the style and tone of the story. What should this part be like? I want the story's tone to be from a second-person perspective. The rhythm should be slow, melodic, and meditation-like to calm the nervous system and increase melatonin production. Because we are going to use TTS tools. Now, what is TTS exactly? It is text-to-speech, or AI that converts text into voice.
Since this text will ultimately enter these tools, the sentences must be short, simple, and have a natural rhythm. Gentle repetition of key phrases helps us create a sleep-inducing and hypnotic tone. I also emphasize having strategic pauses so that the necessary breathing space is formed within the narrative. Finally, our story must be completely away from action or conflict, and the main focus should be on sensory details, things like soft sounds, textures, and even the type of lighting in the scene. Well, that was the general prompt, which is always constant. Now, choosing the topic for each episode is up to you, meaning the structure of the prompt stays the same, and we only specify what the story topic for this episode should be.
A while ago, I was watching a documentary about the Aztec people who lived in modern-day Mexico about 700 years ago. I was truly impressed by it. They had built a massive, beautiful city in the middle of a lake, and their agricultural system was incredibly advanced. In fact, they built gardens on the water and farmed that way. The interesting point is that artificial intelligence knows much more about the Aztecs and their customs than we do. So we just need to ask it. For example, tell us the life story of a traveling botanist in the ancient floating gardens of the Aztecs. This is the subject of our story. We want to take the audience back 700 years. We can even specify the topic of each chapter. And for this part, we can even get ideas from the AI itself. For example, I would structure the chapters like this. Chapter 1, the botanist waking up in a hut made of reeds by the river. Chapter 2, visiting the floating gardens and chatting with the farmers, which creates a very interesting atmosphere. Chapter 3, helping a village elder brew a relaxing herbal tea. Any idea you have can be implemented here. With precise prompts, this story is created with great detail. Chapter 4, resting under a beautiful jacaranda tree and having a simple meal. Chapter 5, watching the dance of the fireflies as the sky turns to twilight. And finally, returning home to get ready for sleep. All of these sections are rich in detail. In fact, it is a highly detailed, poetic description that narrates the daily life of a character in that era. I copy the prompts and provide them to Claude. Finally, by clicking the Generate button, the tool starts writing a very long script. Even the Claude AI cannot prepare this entire text all at once. It might stop in the middle of the process after writing half of the story. Then you'll have to ask it to continue by clicking the Continue option. Later on, I'll show you what I do in this situation, but let's see what this tool is actually writing. Its performance is truly stunning. As you know, this is the story of an ancient botanist. He wakes up in a thatched house next to Lake Texcoco. He prepares himself with the morning calm and puts on traditional Aztec clothing. Note that the level of detail described is very high. Then he moves toward the floating gardens in a small boat, enjoying the untouched nature around him along the way. This story is full of real historical information. For example, it mentions that he has a special knife made of volcanic glass that is very sharp and, in a way, is considered a natural disinfectant. Or, for instance, the botanist's boat is made from a single solid trunk of a large tree, which in those times they would waterproof with pine resin to make it last longer. In fact, the story is full of minute details that completely immerse you in that ancient atmosphere.
And here is the Continue button. As I mentioned, this option appears here. I'll click on it to continue the story. All right, that's it for the script writing section. You can easily get a PDF file of your script this way. This was the first step. Let's move on to the second part, text-to-speech. The easiest way is to use a tool like OpenAudio. This tool is easily installed on the Pinocchio platform. Of course, this method is specifically for those who have a computer. You give the text to it, and the tool seamlessly converts it into audio and delivers it to you. However, those working with a phone cannot use this tool because mobile phones don't have the necessary processing power to install and run this method. My recommendation to you is to use OpenAI's tools.
Just go to the open.fm website. In the voices section, select the Blade voice, as it's a very high quality voice. In the vibe section, I'll give you a specialized prompt that I spent hours working on myself. This prompt helps create a calm and steady voice that perfectly conveys that ASMR vibe. Now that we've imported the voice style, or the vibe, everything is ready, and we can provide it with the text. The only limitation is that you cannot enter more than 100 characters per generation. Unlike the tool I previously introduced for you to install on your system to convert text to voice seamlessly, the process here is different. Therefore, you need to proceed step by step and download each part as it's ready. Well, that covers the audio section. Dear friends, now that the audio section is finished, in the next step, we will move on to image generation. For images, if you have a PC, you can install a tool like Comfy UI to access images for free and more easily. But if you are using a phone, you should use online tools like DaVinci or Tensor.ai. I use ChatGPT to help me write my prompts. My process is that I give it a portion of the text and ask it to create an illustration for that part. I emphasize that the images must have a vintage style, something like ancient paintings or historical artworks. Then I feed these prompts one by one into tools like Leonardo to turn them into paintings. Of course, you can achieve the exact same result using Tensor.art as well. Google's image generation tool is also a great choice because it's both free and powerful. To be honest, due to some disruptions and server congestion, I couldn't use Google this time. Otherwise, the output there would have been much more professional and polished. Finally, we come to the editing phase. I'm using CapCut to edit this video, and I want to show you how to select an effect. Whether you're on your phone or computer, go to the Effects section, search for the word fire, and select this effect. This specific effect is available even in the free version of CapCut. And if you're using CapCut Pro, there are thousands of other effects available that you can choose from based on your own taste. Friends, you can easily adjust color settings in CapCut. Everything here is simple and has no particular complexity. You can easily reach your desired color. In the next step, I place the images next to each other. Finally, I add effects and the narrator's voice to the project. I might even want to add a background sound, like the sound of a crackling fire, to the work. These are actually the elements that are added to the project to complete the editing process. This is the entire workflow. Of course, I personally edit my work in Premiere because it's easier for me in that environment. You might not be able to export a 2 or 3 hour video all at once on a phone, so it's better to divide the video into 4 or 5 parts and finally connect these parts together. In the end, dear friends, my intention with this tutorial is not to say that you will achieve results, get rich, or take over the market simply by copying others' ideas. No, it is not like that at all. There's an interesting statistic I'd like to show you. 90% of young Gen Z users prefer authentic content. When they feel a piece of content is a copy, they lose their trust. If I were in your shoes, I wouldn't try to provide a flawless copy of reference channels like Sleepless Historian. Instead, I would try to create my own authentic content. Do something that makes others imitate you. Why should you be the imitator? The goal of your market is to help people sleep better. Many even enter this market by creating relaxing music with AI, like Calm music. In fact, their work is no different from yours. All of you have the same goal, creating peace for the audience and helping increase melatonin secretion. Think differently, my friends. Build an authentic and unique channel and constantly think about improving your media. Until the next video, goodbye.
Hello everyone. In this educational video, we are going to talk about the Amish. The Frugal Solution channel is a great YouTube reference for this topic. We got to know the Amish community through this very channel, a channel run by one of my friends. At the time of recording this video, it's been about 10 months since this channel started, and in this short period, it has managed to earn up to $200,000. That is exactly the interesting part. But how does it do it? What niche-served specific field is it actually working in?
When I first came across this channel, I didn't realize at first glance what its main product was. There was a specific word in the videos that I couldn't translate, but I was certain that this single word was the key to the channel's success. The word Amish appeared in every video title. At first, I was pronouncing it Amish, but later I realized the correct pronunciation is Amish. For example, the Amish lifestyle. But who are the Amish exactly? With a simple internet search, I found out they are a religious and traditional community in the heart of America. Even today, they use modern technologies like electricity, cars, computers, and the internet very sparingly, or not at all, and they have many restrictions. The Amish believe in a simple life: farming, manual labor, and self-sufficiency. They wear traditional clothing and usually live in communities. This is the information I found about them. These people still exist today. They aren't just a thing of the past. According to studies conducted at the university level, for instance, it has been revealed that their average life expectancy is 10 years longer than that of the average American. The rates of cancer, obesity, and mental illness among the Amish are significantly lower. The reason is clear: they don't smoke, they consume very little alcohol, and they maintain high levels of physical activity, meaning they're constantly farming and walking. Their diet is predominantly organic and homemade, and this lifestyle has even had an impact on their genetics. Now, this channel, Frugal Solutions, provides us with data on how we can live like the Amish. It explores their lifestyle, for example, what their healthy and affordable recipes were, content of that nature. When I looked into the details and the backstory of this, I expected the majority of this channel's audience to be American, because this niche is oriented in a way that might only appeal to an American, someone who is already familiar with the Amish. Naturally, someone who has never even heard of them wouldn't be the target audience for this media. The geography section in the channel's backend confirms exactly this assumption. We are looking at a media platform where 70% of its traffic comes from the United States, followed by Canada, the UK, Australia, and South Africa, respectively. Anyone who has worked on the YouTube platform knows that it doesn't get any better than this. When most of the traffic comes from the US, the ads shown are also American, which translates to the highest level of income on YouTube. The reality is that audiences from first-tier countries like the US, Canada, and the UK are incredibly valuable. The ad costs paid for these countries, compared to the ads shown to Indians, for example, are much more expensive, meaning more profit ends up in our pockets. On the other hand, since the channel's topic is related to lifestyle and health, naturally, older people should be the main fans of this content. And the channel's dashboard confirms exactly that. Guys, this makes perfect sense. We even have an 18 to 24-year-old audience on this channel, but 60% of our viewers are over 55 and 65 years old. Now, why is this a good thing? I've told you in detail before, but just as a reminder, it's because older audiences are a much better target demographic for advertising. Because this group needs insurance, medicine, financial consulting, and nursing services. In contrast, for example, compare this group with a demographic like teenagers. Firstly, a teenager's purchasing power is much lower than that of older individuals. Secondly, their needs are more limited. A teenager is mostly looking for games, entertainment, and fun. But on this side of the story, things are much more serious. And because the market is more serious, competition among advertisers increases. And as a result, RPM goes up. Now, what is RPM? YouTube's metric for calculating revenue per 1,000 views. Guys, the RPM on the Frugal Solutions channel has reached $8.50. This figure is currently one of the highest earning rates on this platform. Usually, only those active in fields like finance, making money, or cryptocurrency have such an RPM. To be honest, guys, I had never seen a channel in the health niche reach such an RPM. Normally, this figure should have been around $2 or $3. But why has it gone so much? As we said, it's because the majority of the audience is American, and they are also older. The combination of these two factors caused such a high RPM to be created. With this level of RPM, if we can achieve high views, just like what this media outlet has done, it's quite clear that it's a successful idea. This is one of the most profitable projects I've ever seen, And since this success happened in less than a year, its appeal becomes even greater. In the end, I'm sure the question for many of you is, how should such projects be built? How does the creator do it? Where do the content, footage, and scripts come from? Let's start with the thumbnails first. It's clear that the video thumbnails are being prepared with the help of AI. The creator tries to use the faces and lifestyle of the Amish. Usually there's text next to these images that says, copy this exact method in your own life. The script is also written by AI. For example, the creator asks the AI, give me the Amish bread recipe. Or, how do the Amish keep food from spoiling without a refrigerator? What is their natural solution? That becomes the video script. After the script is ready, it's obvious that TTS, text-to-speech, tools should be used to convert the text into audio. For instance, Open.fm is free and very powerful. You give it the text and receive the audio file. Finally, we get to the footage. The main question is, where do these videos come from? In this type of content, the creator gathers footage from various sources. For example, I'll show you one of these sources. Interestingly, the creator even received a copyright notice from this very source, meaning the owner wasn't pleased. Suppose the channel is talking about baking bread. See, this is another channel that provides bread making tutorials. The creator uses this person's footage in their own video and narrates the story over it. Now, in this specific case, the creator was a bit unlucky and got a copyright claim, but the key point is that you must truly understand the fair use law. If you use content fairly, it won't even reach the point where the original creator would want to give you a copyright claim or a strike. In this example, the video was likely uploaded very hastily, and since a large portion of the original content was used, it led to a copyright claim.
Even this channel, after about a year of activity, or more precisely 11 months, is facing this situation for the second time. They have sourced all the footage from other places. They don't produce visual content themselves and use other media and sources instead. This project is truly interesting to me because this creator has tapped into a very specific niche or market, and with this unique choice, they've managed to build a massive market for themselves. They're even thinking about completely transferring ownership and selling this channel so they can buy a house in Germany with the money. The price they've set for this channel is $400,000. So far, no buyer has been found because the asking price is high, but I hope they succeed. What's even more interesting is that when this creator realized they could dominate the market, they launched another channel alongside the first one. Again, in the same niche and once more about the Amish lifestyle. Of course, this new channel hasn't grown as much as the first one, but it has good potential and acts like a second business. They plan to sell the first one and focus on the second to grow it again. This idea is fantastic.